Hello and welcome to Kent Tonight, live here on KMTV. I'm Chloe Brewster and here are your top stories on Thursday the 27th of August. We stand together. Medway councillor's voice of support for Nepal after flood disaster.
Our prayers to those that are still missing. We are hoping and praying for good news.
From rags to riches, Sheppey business owner explains how selling reused clothing online has changed her life.
I think it's more than a full-time job. Since being here, within the 4 months, it has just gone crazy.
And we take a look at a KMTV special report about how families in Kent are fighting to get treatment for their children with rare diseases.
There's this whole world of rare diseases that exists that you don't know about until you're in it.
First tonight, members of Kent's Nepalese community are reacting to the flash flooding which has devastated parts of Nepal. Over 900 people are missing, including 33 UK tourists, and at least 359 people have died, according to Nepalese authorities. Prime Minister Andy Burnham has pledged £5 million and has offered to send emergency responders to Nepal. Medway councillor Nina Gurung is a member of Kent's Gurkha Nepalese community, and I spoke to her earlier about the situation. Thank you so much for joining us. Can you give us your initial reaction to what we've seen overnight in Nepal?
Thank you for having me. First of all, I would like to express my prayers to those that have lost their lives, as well as, our deepest condolences to those bereaved families, and also our prayers to those that are still missing. We are hoping and praying for good news, including for those that were visiting from the United Kingdom. First, when I heard about this news, we didn't realize the enormity of it, which, of course, over time, as it became clearer how significant and how distressing and devastating these fast floods, as well as the mudslide has been, it is beyond disbelief. It is heartbreaking, it is tragic, or just come to terms with it. And if we from the outside are feeling this way, you can just about imagine how devastating it is for the people living through it and experiencing it right now over there in Nepal.
Mm-hmm. Have you spoken to other people in the Nepalese community in Kent? And if you have, how are they feeling?
Yes, I think there is a large Gurkha Nepalese community across Kent, and all of us are, first of all, like I said, it's the disbelief, but on the other hand, it's about praying for the loved ones, and also the other important part is about what can we do in this time, in this moment in time, to come together, support each other, but also is there anything we can do to help people over there. We're just waiting for further confirmation between different community leaders to coordinate a sort of fundraising or anything we can do to express to Nepal that Nepal, you're not alone. We stand together, and we're here and to send a strong message to Nepal to stay strong, really.
Well, Andy Burnham said that he's going to pledge some money towards aid efforts in Nepal. Do you back that?
Absolutely, because as I said, Nepal is a friend of the United Kingdom, and I think I would heartily welcome this initiative from the government, from the Honourable Prime Minister. And I would also urge all the nations across the world to join hands at this particular moment in time to show solidarity and support in whatever way possible to Nepal and the people of Nepal.
A dine and dasher who fled a popular Kent restaurant without paying has been handed a fine of almost £2,000 by a court. Johnny Delaney was captured on CCTV, which you can see on screen now, leaving Stubbs in Ashford without paying the £250 bill. Footage obtained by Kent Online shows him walking across a car park with one of the youngsters before jumping into a car and driving off. He was sentenced at Canterbury Crown Court to a 12-month community order, made to pay back the cash to the restaurant as well as pay out court costs. More than 5,000 young people have been vaccinated against meningitis B in Kent after a one-off programme for university starters. Health officials began offering the jab for free in June to Year 13 pupils and students aged between 18 and 25. It follows the meningitis outbreak in Canterbury back in March. But students here are being reminded that the jabs are most effective when taken in 2 doses, 4 weeks apart. So students are being encouraged to book in to finish the course. Well, I don't know about you, but I was pretty glad to see the rainy weather this morning, although I did have to dust off my umbrella. But let's see if the rain will continue over the coming days. There's going to be some rain in Medway tonight, and it will be warm and cloudy across the rest of the county, with highs of 18 degrees in many places. Going into tomorrow, it's much the same, with highs of 19 degrees and lows of 18 degrees in Dartford, Medway and Royal Tunbridge Wells. It will warm up slightly going into tomorrow afternoon, with temperatures reaching 23 degrees in Canterbury and lows of 21 degrees in Royal Tunbridge Wells and Dover. Looking towards the weekend, Saturday, Sunday and Monday, looking like 22 degrees on Saturday, 23 on Sunday, 22 on Monday. Rain sticking around for Saturday, but just some clouds there in the afternoon. For families living with rare diseases, there is no simple routine. Every day can mean caring for a child whose condition is unpredictable while campaigning for awareness, fundraising for treatment and fighting for support. The special coming up after this programme is going to be full of all of that.
Over the past few months alone, Kent Online and KMTV have reported on a number of children in Kent living with rare diseases. Each condition only affects a handful of children, but for the families living with them, the impact is anything but rare. With no cure for many of these conditions, their mothers have been campaigning for greater support, awareness and funding for trials, all while navigating the upsetting realities of day-to-day life.
With the rare diseases, a lot of them, you've only got a very small number of people who are affected. So if you're a company devising a new treatment, to get your money back, you've got to charge an awful lot of money. So they're not making excessive profits, but they have this challenge of developing a drug from scratch, going through all the testing and the approval that they need, and then passing out to a small number of people. Compare that with a very common disease. There's a very easy way to get your money back, and therefore the costs are much lower.
I went behind the scenes with one of these families to find out what life is really like, to show the challenges that rarely make the headlines and the battles that continue long after the cameras have been switched off.
Ready? Good boy. Good boy.
What kind of support do you get?
I don't really.
The question is, when a disease is rare, does that mean the children living with it are too rare to matter?
You can catch that special report just after the break. Now, a Medway boxer is ready for the fight of his life this weekend. He faces Croatian Hrgovic for the International Boxing Federation heavyweight world title on Saturday. Moses Italma, who is just 21 years old, will become the second youngest heavyweight champion in history after Mike Tyson if he wins. He is a favourite of bookies, backing the former St Mary's amateur. Boxing legend Prince Nassim Hamed has described Italma as a million times better than Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury. A business owner from the Isle of Sheppey has turned her passion for fashion into a full-time career and is now inspiring others across Kent to do the same. Chloe Lovett runs Love It or List It, a clothes reselling business she started as a hobby before taking it full-time just 4 months ago. Now she's helping show how a love of fashion can be turned into a successful business. Justine Larter has the story.
Have you ever thought about turning your side gig into a full-time job?
Well, here in Sheerness-on-Sea, Chloe Lovett's clothes reselling side hustle has moved from second-hand retailer Vinted to this building right behind me. Let's go take a look.
At Love It or List It, you can sell your unwanted clothes for cash. These clothes are then sold online, either individually or as part of bundles.
I think it's more than a full-time job. Since being here, within the 4 months, it has just gone crazy. Like, my earnings are from like 400 to like £2,000 a day.
Sustainable fashion is a growing industry, with Barclays reporting in April this year that 38% of UK consumers bought from a resale platform in the last year. As well as sustainable, it can be a more affordable option for customers too.
I've had a wedding dress where a lady went to get married in Vegas that she paid hundreds for. I put it on Vinted. I think someone got it for like 50 quid. So again, like someone's then maybe getting married for the second time and they've got a dress off of Vinted for such a low cost.
Chloe has built up a community of sustainable fashion enthusiasts on her social media pages, encouraging others to get involved in the side hustle too.
I've had a lot of people reach out to me and say that I've really inspired them. Like, even someone messaged me the other day, like their 16-year-old daughter's been following my journey from when I came here and has actually started taking up what I'm doing.
But social media hasn't always been a beneficial place for Chloe. Having a presence online has exposed her to some negative comments from other social media users.
I think it's a reflection. The comments that people are making are a reflection on their own life. If someone's really happy and content within their own life, they've got no time to leave a horrible comment about someone else. But I would never do that.
In spite of this, Chloe is staying positive and showing that turning your hobby into a career can be done.
We're in 2026, like you can make money from anything. Like as long as you're passionate about it, you know that you want to do it, go for it.
And her business is only growing more as Love It or List It is due to move to a bigger unit soon. Justine Larter for KMTV News in Sheerness-on-Sea.
Much more after this short break. Hello and welcome back to KMTV. For families living with rare diseases, there is no simple routine. Every day can mean caring for a child whose condition is unpredictable while campaigning for awareness, fundraising for treatment and fighting for support. For many of these mothers, it means raising hundreds of thousands of pounds for research and potential treatments, while questioning why something that could change their child's life is so difficult and expensive to access. Kristen Hawthorne has been finding out what life is really like for families living with rare diseases in Kent.
Internationally, if you put them together, the numbers will be larger, but actually in terms of devising a new treatment, they will still be low, often slightly below the break-even point a lot of the time for the companies.
So there is no approved treatment, but there are treatments that have previously been trialled that have proven to be incredibly effective, but have run out of funding before they've reached the approval stage.
They ran out of funding for one cure, so they couldn't move forward. And it scared me because there isn't a lot of the children that have got BPAN or the young adults or whatever. That this cure is only from 0 to 25 years old, but anyone that is already in the second degree is classed as incurable. So when Bertie gets to the second degree, he can't have that gene therapy because the gene therapy is to stop the second degree happening.
Navigating mornings with multiple children can always be a challenge. But add in the fact that one of those children has a rare disease, and the sunrise brings a whole host of new battles. From the fear that the disease has progressed overnight to managing medications and campaigns, fighting on can be difficult for the whole family. Emily has 5 children. 2 have ADHD and 1 has ADHD and oppositional defiance disorder. Then there's 4-year-old Arabella. Bertie, who's 5 years old, has BPAN, which is a rare genetic disease that leaves his future uncertain. It requires constant care and strength, both physically and mentally. It's 7 a.m, bright and early here in Canterbury, and Emily has invited me down to her house to see her morning routine with Bertie. She says the process can be quite a challenge as their home isn't accessible. Let's have a look. Bertie can't walk without support, so his morning starts by waking up and carried down the stairs.
Ideally, we want to get like a bed that's really high, but has like all the bits around it, but we can't fit that in there at the moment, so we're waiting at the moment for a 4-bedroom house from the council.
As the days pass, this becomes more and more of a challenge for Emily.
Well, that was a task, wasn't it?
Then, on to breakfast.
It's mad. Like, he had an EEG. When he had his EEG without medication, he was having like 50 to 60 silent seizures that were going on in his brain, but not physically. You're gonna eat your pancake? Hello, Bert. Clever boy. Clever boy. Yay! Hello, Bertie boy.
And he loves circles, so playing with the plate is also a part of the routine.
Like, he'll pick the food up, go to put it to his mouth and throw it up the floor, or throw it back on the table because he can't help it. It's like he's got uncontrollable movements, if that makes sense. So like sometimes I'll have to like just quickly try and get it in his mouth, so then he can taste it, and then he'll be like, oh okay, it's food time now. So then he'll start eating. You want it off. You want it off. You don't want the plate.
Like any other 5-year-old, Bertie loves playing with toys and watching cartoons. But because his disease is so rare, there's no treatment, and as he gets older, getting that treatment begins to feel more and more out of reach.
Yay! Was that good? He might want me to get him ready.
After a break, it was time for medication and teeth brushing.
I left him in the evening and underneath them. Oh dear. Are you good? Oh. One more. I'm going to do teeth. Good boy. Good boy. This is horrible, this one. Yeah, so he has to have Just a minute, Arabella. He has to have 2 epileptic medications and 1 for his dribbling. But this Topromate is awful. Like, I've accidentally tasted it before and it's just foul. Isn't it, Babs? Right, you ready for your tea? Because this is absolute hell. Good boy. Yeah, so then we get him dressed and I do his medication and that's a fight. That is really, like, because he's getting so strong now. And where I'm only small, like, trying to hold him, we'll see. But yeah, like, he will try and fight me. And then it's to get all the other children ready. So the other 3, because Bert, even though Bert's got, like, complex needs, I've got 4 other children that all have needs as well. Hey, it's hard work. Is that hard work?
I spoke to Emily Moore to find out what kind of support she gets and what she's been doing to help Bertie get long-term treatment. During the interview, we were surrounded by the children, and you can tell just how busy she is.
At the moment, I'm on TikTok, so I've been, since November last year, I have gone to TikTok to try and raise awareness about BPAN, because I didn't even know what BPAN was. And through that, I've gained quite, I'm on like 16.3 thousand followers. And through TikTok, I've like found so many medical mums that are like that are going through the same thing. So I've got a mum that's got a child with childhood dementia, and she missed human trials, and she's now having to pay 1.5 to 3 million pounds for treatment.
Lenny is another child in Kent who has a rare disorder. She has Sanfilippo syndrome, also known as childhood dementia. Her mum Emily has also been campaigning and raising awareness, almost reaching her target of £500,000 for a treatment.
I think there's this whole world of rare diseases that exists that you don't know about until you're in it. And it is so unbelievably unfair and frustrating. Every day that goes by is a day too late, and we just are in this constant state of worry that she's going to start regressing. And the fact that there doesn't seem really to be that urgency from anyone other than the families. And I'm sure there are people that are working very hard behind the scenes to try and make these treatments happen. But it's like, this is a child's life that depends on this treatment. And there just doesn't seem to be that drive from everyone else. And I don't feel like parents should have to fight for their child's life. I feel like the system should support that and kind of really accelerate these processes, especially for rapid neurodegenerative diseases in children like Sanfilippo and like BPAN that need treatment as soon as possible. Like these conditions are very, very quick once they start to decline, and we can't afford to wait because children are dying without treatment, and the treatments exist, they're on the shelves. And that's so, as a parent, the fact that a treatment is within touching distance, but my child can't access that, and the fact that we have to raise all this awareness because no one's heard of Sanfilippo, the fact that we have to raise all this money because the funding isn't there for rare diseases, it's so incredibly unfair.
Why is it so much money? Like, for instance, Bertie's gene therapy is costing Great Ormond Street as a whole for the project, just to get to human trials, it's going to cost around £10 million. And then Action for BPAN, they are targeted 2.3 million by May 2027. And BPAN's not waiting for these children to get these funds. Do you know what I mean? BPAN is like, we've lost. I know, darling. You need to tell them. Yeah.
So why is it so expensive and so out of reach for these families?
With the rare diseases, a lot of them, you've only got a very small number of people who are affected. So if you're a company devising a new treatment, to get your money back, you've got to charge an awful lot of money. So they're not making excessive profits, but they have this challenge of developing a drug from scratch, going through all the testing and the approval that they need, and then passing out to a small number of people. Compare that with a very common disease. There's a very easy way to get your money back, and therefore the costs are much lower.
As these parents continue to call for systematic government reform for all rare disease patients, the clock keeps ticking. They have done everything they can for their children, raising awareness on social media, writing books, and organising fundraising events and sales. But this is only the visible surface of a much wider community. Behind it are countless rare disease patients and families who may not have the platform, resources or strength to make their voices heard. For these families, the hope is that no child's chance of treatment is determined by the number of people who share their condition. Kristen Hawthorne for KMTV.
And Kristen joins me in the studio now. Kristen, why did you want to tell this story?
Well, like I had said in the trailer, over the past few months I had noticed that KMTV, myself and our colleague Naila, as well as those at Kent Online, had been reporting on a number of these children with rare diseases that were all different. We've had childhood dementia, Rett syndrome and BPAN, of course, which is what Birdie has. And each of them, were either fighting for adaptations, awareness even, and most importantly the funding as well, because their treatments are so expensive. And a lot of them, from what we had heard collectively, was that a lot of them felt kind of unsupported, a bit abandoned, and why are their children sort of being left out? So I spoke to them, went down, and because it felt, I felt like we needed to revisit the story, so that was why.
It's a very powerful story. Thank you so much, Kristen. You've been watching Kent Tonight live here on KMTV. There's more news made just for Kent throughout the evening. Don't forget, you can always keep up to date with the latest news from across your county by logging on to kmtv.co.uk. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.